The croissant hit her square in the head. Chocolate exploded through her hair. The woman sitting alone at the corner table didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't turn around. She just sat there while the laughter grew louder and the chocolate dripped down the back of her neck onto the collar of her blazer. The boy who had thrown it was grinning. His mother was clapping. His father was pointing at the door. "You're out," he said. "Before I have you arrested for trespassing," she whispered, barely loud enough to be heard. "I was invited." The room laughed. She gathered her papers quietly, the ones that had been scattered by a kicked briefcase, the ones with chocolate and spilled water bleeding through the ink. She stood. She picked up her bag. She walked toward the exit. And then, at the door, she turned. She looked at the man who had just told her she didn't belong in his world. And she said 4 words that nobody in that room understood yet. "See you Monday, Mr. Hartley." Then she was gone. Nobody knew what Monday meant. Not yet, but they would. Stay with us. Because what happened next didn't just cost that family their reputation. It cost them everything they had ever built. If you have ever watched someone be treated as less than they are and felt powerless to stop it, this story is for you. Subscribe right now and hit the bell, because every story on this channel is worth staying for until the very last word. Cedar Ridge Country Club occupied 47 acres of immaculate Connecticut lawn. The kind of green that required a team of groundskeepers and a 6-figure irrigation system to maintain. Old oak trees lined the entrance. Luxury cars filled the valet circle. Saturday morning, the spring benefactors' brunch was in full swing. Crystal chandeliers hung above white tablecloths. Oil paintings of the club's founders lined the walls. All men, all white, all long dead, all staring down with the permanent satisfaction of people who believed they had built something that would last forever. Membership cost $50,000 a year. The waiting list stretched 7 years. But money alone was never enough. You had to fit. The committee had rejected 22 applications in 2 years. 16 were people of color. The reason given was always the same: cultural fit, traditional values, preserving community character. The servers moved like shadows through the space. Most were black or Latino. They kept their eyes down. They had learned what happened when they didn't. This was where Connecticut's elite arranged deals, secured legacies, ensured their children attended the right schools and married the right families. It was a machine built to sustain itself by keeping certain people out. Dr. Simone Hayes had arrived at 11:15. She was 44, PhD in aerospace engineering from MIT. Her company, Hayes Defense Technologies, manufactured systems used by the U.S. military and allied governments. Last quarter, $620 million in revenue, 12,000 employees across 9 states, a Forbes cover 3 months prior. The headline read, "From a rented garage to a defense empire, how Dr. Simone Hayes built a company worth $2.4 billion. That morning, she wore dark jeans, a navy blazer from a mid-range department store, simple gold studs, natural hair pulled back, no designer bag, no status jewelry. She had dressed down on purpose. Richard Ashford, the club president, had invited her personally. He wanted Hayes Defense to sponsor a STEM program, $5 million over 3 years. The club would get the press coverage. Simone had one condition before she would agree. She wanted to see the culture firsthand, not as a CEO, not as a donor, just as a guest nobody recognized. She wanted to watch how members treated people they assumed didn't belong. So she sat alone at a corner table, head down, reviewing quarterly reports, looking like someone's administrative assistant who had wandered in from the wrong door. Her phone sat face down on the table, its recording app running. She had learned, years ago, to document everything, every insult, every assumption, every moment people revealed who they actually were when they believed no one important was watching. The Hartley family occupied the center table on the terrace. Best view of the golf course. Catherine Hartley was 46. Blonde highlights, expensive. Maintenance. An Instagram account with 49,000 followers dedicated to luxury lifestyle content. Blessed and grateful. Living her best life. She ran the club's ladies' social committee. She decided who was invited, who belonged, who was quietly steered away. 2 years ago, she had personally blocked 4 families of color from membership. Her language was always the same: cultural fit, traditional standards, preserving what makes Cedar Ridge special. Her husband, Warren Hartley was 53, third-generation wealth. His grandfather had founded Hartley Development Group in 1961. Now, Warren ran it. $900 million in commercial real estate, shopping centers, office parks, luxury developments. He was skilled at inheriting, less skilled at most other things. His company was currently the lead bidder on the largest deal of his career. Hayes Defense Technologies needed a new headquarters campus, $1.5 billion, 15 buildings, 3,000 employees. Hartley Development had spent 6 months on the proposal. Warren had called every favor he had. The final decision. Meeting was Monday morning, 48 hours away. Their son, Caleb, was 12 years old. He had been expelled from 2 private schools for bullying. His current school had only accepted him after his parents donated a new gymnasium wing. He had never heard the word no without it being reversed by a check. He had learned contempt the way other children learn table manners. At home, from the people who were supposed to teach him better. Caleb Hartley launched the chocolate croissant with the casual precision of a child who had never faced a consequence in his life. It hit Simone in the back of the head. Chocolate erupted through her hair. Catherine's shriek of delight cut across the terrace. People at nearby tables looked up. Some laughed. Some looked uncomfortable. Nobody stood. Nobody spoke. Thomas Reeves, the club manager, stood near the kitchen doors. He was 54. Black had worked at Cedar Ridge for 31 years. He had seen everything in those years, heard everything, said nothing. He had grandchildren to put through college, medical bills, a mortgage. He watched Simone reach calmly for her napkin, his jaw locked, his fists tight at his sides. He stayed where he was. An elderly woman at table 9, Eleanor, 73, started to rise. Her husband caught her wrist, pulled her back down, shook his head quietly. She sat. Everyone sat. Everyone watched. Nobody helped. Catherine crossed the terrace in 5 clicks of designer heels and stopped directly behind Simone's chair. Close. Enough that her perfume was suffocating. "Excuse me," she said, voice like ice. "This is a members-only event. I don't recognize you." Simone continued stacking her wet documents. She didn't turn around. "I'm talking to you," Catherine said louder. "It's basic manners to look at someone when they're addressing you." Simone turned. Chocolate still streaked her hair. Her eyes were completely calm, unnervingly calm. "I was invited by Mr. Ashford," she said. "I have every right to be here." Catherine's laugh was sharp and practiced. Richard Ashford wouldn't invite someone dressed like that to a benefactor's event. She gestured at Simone's outfit with a manicured hand. "Jeans to Cedar Ridge. Are you the help?" Warren stepped closer, looking Simone up and down the way a man looks at something he is deciding whether to bother with. "Nobody wants a scene," he said. "Just leave quietly." "I have an invitation." "Then show me." It was verbal. "Mr. Ashford called me personally." Catherine's smile was vicious. "How convenient. No paper trail." She turned to the room with theatrical confidence. "Anyone can claim they were invited, right?" She reached across the table and snatched one of Simone's wet documents. Held it up. Scanned the header. Hayes Defense Technologies. Q2 Strategic Operations Report. "Oh, this is rich," she read aloud, mocking. "Did you steal these from someone's office? Corporate espionage?" Simone stood slowly. She was 3 inches taller than Catherine. "That is confidential property. Return it." "Or what?" Catherine held it higher. "You'll call your lawyer?" "Lawyers cost money, sweetie." She tore the document in half, then in half again. The pieces fell like snow. The room went silent. Even the string quartet stopped. Caleb saw the opening. He darted forward and kicked Simone's briefcase. It toppled. Documents scattered across the marble. A tablet clattered. Pens rolled. Catherine's voice was delighted. "Caleb, stop that!" But she was laughing. Warren watched Simone drop to her knees to gather the papers. His expression mixed disgust with amusement. "I don't know what diversity hire program landed you here, but Cedar Ridge has standards. We have traditions. Simone gathered papers from the floor. Her hands were shaking now, visibly shaking. Thomas moved one step forward. Catherine didn't even look at him. "Stay back, Thomas, unless you want to join her." He stopped. 31 years of swallowed words. Patricia. The elderly woman, Eleanor, stood again. Her husband yanked her down before she could speak. Simone gathered the last document and stood. She looked at Catherine, at Warren, at Caleb, at every person who had watched and said nothing. "I understand perfectly," she said quietly. "More than you know." She turned toward the exit. She made it 5 steps. Caleb grabbed his orange juice and wound back his arm. Thomas started, "Caleb, no!" The juice hit Simone square between the shoulders. Cold liquid soaked through her blazer. Catherine doubled over laughing. Warren high-fived his son across the table. Simone stopped walking. She stood completely still. Orange juice dripped from her blazer onto the marble floor, creating a small pool at her heels. She did not turn around. Her shoulders rose and fell with each controlled breath. Then she reached into her pocket, pulled out her phone. The screen showed, recording, 24 minutes. She tapped stop, saved the file. Then she turned slowly. Her face was calm, eerily calm. She looked at Catherine, at Warren, at every single person watching. "I'm leaving now," she said. Her voice carried clearly across the entire terrace. "But I'll be in touch." Catherine waved dismissively. "Oh, we're terrified." Simone's eyes moved to Warren. "See you Monday, Mr. Hartley." Warren frowned. "Monday? Lady, I don't even know who you are." Simone smiled. Cold, thin. It didn't reach her eyes. "You will." Then she was gone. Orange juice and chocolate left a trail behind her across the marble. Her heels clicked, each step measured and deliberate. Catherine was already typing on her phone before Simone's car left the parking lot. She uploaded a photo, Simone's back, orange stain spreading across the blazer, walking toward the exit. She added laughing emojis. She added text. "When people forget where they belong, security handled it." She hit share. 10 minutes later, 400 views. 30 minutes later, 3,000. Then the comments started changing. "If your parents ever taught you that how you treat people when nobody's watching reveals who you truly are, then you know exactly what this story is about." Like this video right now for every person who has ever been judged before they were seen, and subscribe so you never miss a story where truth finally wins. 63 minutes after Simone left, Richard Ashford called Warren. Warren answered, cheerfully. The cheerfulness lasted 6 seconds. "The woman you had escorted out," Richard said, voice tight. "Describe her." "Black woman, jeans, didn't belong, claimed you invited her." "Oh God." Richard's breathing was audible. "Warren, what did you do?" "We asked her to leave. She had corporate documents, probably stolen. We were That was Dr. Simone Hayes." Silence. The mimosa glass stopped, halfway to Warren's lips. "That's not possible." "CEO of Hayes Defense Technologies. I invited her personally to evaluate us for a $5 million STEM sponsorship. She was conducting an anonymous assessment of our culture." Warren's collar was suddenly too tight. "There was a misunderstanding. My son, Catherine, we didn't know who she was." "That," Richard said, and his voice had gone completely cold, "is exactly the problem." He hung up. Warren Googled Simone Hayes. The screen filled immediately. Forbes profile, government contract announcements, TED Talk, 2.1 million views. Corporate headshot, blazer, pearls, natural hair styled, the same face, the same woman, the same eyes that had looked at him with that unnerving calm. He clicked the Hayes Defense Technologies procurement page. Hartley Development Group, lead bidder status. Final review. Final decision meeting. Monday, 9:00 a.m. 29 hours away. Warren's vision blurred. The terrace spun. He reached for the table. "Catherine!" His voice came out wrong. "Catherine, get over here." She was 3 tables away, showing friends the Instagram post. She walked over, annoyed. "What's wrong with you?" "The woman. The one Caleb hit with the juice." "What? About her?" "That was Dr. Simone Hayes." Catherine blinked. "Who?" "CEO of Hayes Defense. The company I'm bidding for. The $1.5 billion contract." His hands were shaking. No, she wasn't. She was dressed like... I know what she was dressed like. He held up his phone. The Forbes photo filled the screen. Same face. Catherine's hands began to tremble. Oh my God, Warren. And you posted it on Instagram." She was already pulling out her phone. "I'll delete it right now." She opened the app. Story. Views, 3,400. Shares, 52. She hit delete. A notification appeared. Story has been shared. Deletion may not remove all copies. No. Her finger jabbed the screen, but it was already too late. Screenshots existed. People had saved it. The story was on other platforms. A reporter from the Connecticut Post was already dialing. Across town, Simone Hayes sat in her home office. The recording was 24 minutes of crystal clarity. Every word, every laugh, every insult. She had already sent it to her attorney, Rachel Okafor, civil rights specialist, 32 years of experience. Rachel called back in 11 minutes. "Simone, this is everything. The audio is perfect. Multiple witnesses will corroborate. You have assault, battery, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress. We can file Monday." "And criminal charges?" "Possible. The DA will review. The child's age complicates things, but parental liability is significant." Rachel paused. "How far do you want to take this?" Simone touched her hair, still sticky with chocolate. She looked at her blazer hanging over her chair. The orange stain had already set. "All of it," she said. "Every count." "Good, because I just got off the phone with the NAACP. 3 other families of color have been rejected from Cedar Ridge membership under Catherine's committee. They want to discuss a class action." Simone pulled up the screenshot of Catherine's deleted Instagram story, stared at it, then forwarded it to her PR team. Subject line: "Prepare a statement. Press conference Monday, 11 a.m. She stood and walked to the window. Somewhere out there, the Hartleys were panicking. Good. Let them panic. Let them feel what she had felt gathering papers off a marble floor with chocolate in her hair, while a room full of people watched and said nothing. She smiled. For the first time since that morning, she smiled. Monday, 8:45 a.m. Warren Hartley stood in the lobby of Hayes Defense Technologies headquarters. Marble floors, floor-to-ceiling windows, the smell of money and purpose. He wore his best suit. White roses in hand. He had rehearsed his apology 19 times. His hands were sweating. The receptionist's smile was ice. "Mr. Hartley, your 9-hour meeting with Dr. Hayes." "Yes." "Could you give her these?" He placed the flowers on the desk. "With my sincerest apologies." "Mr. Hartley." Her expression did not change. "There's been a schedule update. Please check your email." He opened it. The subject line read, "Hartley. Development Group, bid status update." He read the first sentence 3 times. "Dear Mr. Hartley, after comprehensive review, Hayes Defense Technologies has decided to pursue alternative partnerships for our headquarters campus project. Your firm's bid has been withdrawn from consideration, effective immediately. This decision is final." The phone slipped from his hand and clattered on the marble. $1.5 billion gone. Behind him, the elevator opened. His project team emerged. 6 people dressed for the presentation of their careers. "Warren, conference room?" "Go home," he said. His voice was hollow. "We lost it." He walked past them, through the lobby, through the doors, into the parking garage. He sat in his car for 20 minutes staring at nothing. His phone rang. "Catherine." "Did you fix it?" Did you apologize? We lost the contract. Silence. What? $1.5 billion gone. He laughed. The sound was completely empty. She called it at exactly 9. She decided Saturday night. He hung up. 11 minutes later, Simone Hayes walked into a packed conference room. 20 journalists, 5 news cameras, NPR microphones. Photographers lined the walls. She wore charcoal gray, hair styled. She looked exactly like power. Her attorney stood to her left. NAACP representatives flanked her right. She approached the podium. Silence fell. Good morning. Her voice was steady. On Saturday, I attended Cedar Ridge Country Club as an invited guest. I was evaluating the club for a $5 million STEM donation. Cameras flashed. Instead, I was struck in the head by a 12-year-old child. His parents laughed and encouraged him. I was told I didn't belong. My confidential property was destroyed. I was publicly accused of theft. I was subjected to racial contempt in front of a room that watched in silence. She paused. I recorded everything. The room erupted. She raised one hand. Silence returned. I'll play 30 seconds. The audio filled the room. Catherine's voice, sharp, delighted, vicious. The impact sound of the thrown pastry, the laughter. Warren's voice ordering her out. Caleb's voice, young, proud, completely without remorse. The room went very quiet. 2 journalists covered their mouths. One was crying. This is not a single incident, Simone continued. This is the daily experience of people of color in spaces that have decided, without a word being spoken, that we do not belong there. I have a PhD from MIT. I built a company worth $2.4 billion. I employ 12,000 people. None of that protected me from being told in a room full of witnesses that I was trash. She did not waver. Today I am filing a civil suit against the Hartley family for assault, defamation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The NAACP is filing a class action against Cedar Ridge for systematic discriminatory membership practices. She held up her phone. Catherine's deleted Instagram story appeared on the screen behind her. Mrs. Hartley posted this publicly to mock me. She deleted it. But the internet, Simone said, is forever. A reporter raised her hand. Miss Hayes, your company just withdrew a $1.5 billion contract from Hartley Development. Is that retaliation? Simone's face was stone. My board reviewed the matter independently. I recused myself due to conflict of interest. She looked into the cameras. But I'll say this clearly. Hayes defense partners with companies that share our values. Character matters in business. What a person does when they believe no one important is watching tells you everything you need to know about who they are. She stepped back. Thank you. No further questions. She walked out. Within 10 minutes, her name was trending. Within an hour, it was national news. By Monday afternoon, the Hartleys were drowning. 3 major clients terminated contracts with Hartley Development. $18 million in projects, gone. The emails were identical in their cold precision. After careful review, we have decided to pursue other partnerships. This decision reflects our commitment to values-based business relationships. Warren's business partner called. The board is voting Wednesday. They want you out. I built this company. Your grandfather built it. You're destroying it. The line went dead. Catherine posted a tearful Instagram video at 4 p.m., sitting in their bedroom, makeup streaked, hair undone. I made a terrible mistake. Her voice shook. I'm not a racist. I have black friends. I volunteer at the comments arrived instantly. You don't have black friends. You're crying because you got caught. You're not sorry. You're sorry you lost. I'm not racist is the first thing racists say. Her follower count dropped in real time. 49,000, 44,000, 37,000. Every luxury brand she had partnered with sent the same email by evening. We are terminating our partnership effective immediately. Your recent conduct does not align with our brand values. 5 years of influencer income. Gone in 4 hours. Caleb's school called at 5 p.m. The headmaster's voice was grave. The board has reviewed Saturday's incident in the context of Caleb's behavioral history. We've decided his enrollment is no longer tenable. You're expelling him? We donated a gymnasium. We're refunding your donation. Caleb's behavior represents a pattern we should have addressed earlier. His parents' response to that behavior made our decision clear. Cedar Ridge's board met Monday evening. Emergency session. The vote was unanimous. Hartley family membership permanently revoked, effective immediately. The letter arrived by courier at 7 p.m. Catherine opened it with shaking hands, read aloud, and then dropped it. It fluttered to the marble floor of the entryway. "This is our entire social life," she said. Warren stared at the wall. His phone buzzed. The bank. They wanted to review his credit facility. $50 million in active financing. If they called the loans, everything would collapse. "What do we do?" Catherine's voice was very small now. Warren picked up his phone. His hands shook so badly he could barely type. He sent an email to Simone Hayes. "Please, Dr. Hayes, I have 400 employees. I'm begging you. Just 5 minutes. Let me apologize properly." He stared at the screen. No response came. None would. Thomas Reeves, the club manager, agreed to testify. 31 years of silence, and now he spoke. "I watched the Hartley family humiliate people for years. Staff, guests, anyone they decided was beneath them. Saturday was simply the first time someone documented it and fought back." Eleanor, the elderly woman who had tried to stand twice, testified too. "I'm ashamed it took this long. I watched it happen and I sat down. I will carry that." The trial lasted 3 weeks. The jury deliberated 6 hours. Unanimous verdict. Guilty on all counts. 8.7 million in damages. 3.7 million compensatory. 5 million punitive. The jury foreman, a retired school teacher, spoke to reporters outside the courthouse. "We wanted to send a message that has been waiting to be sent for a very long time. Wealth does not excuse cruelty. Power does not grant permission to treat another human being as less than human." Criminal charges followed. Assault. Contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The Hartleys pleaded no contest. The judge was not lenient. 200 hours of community service each. Mandatory diversity education, 3 years probation. Any violation meant incarceration. Caleb was placed in mandatory therapy and community service at a youth center serving underprivileged children. The judge's words from the bench were precise. This child was taught hatred at his parents' table. Perhaps serving those he was raised to despise will teach him what his parents could. Not! Warren filed for personal and corporate bankruptcy 6 months after the verdict. The mansion sold at auction. They moved into a 2-bedroom rental, the kind of home they once would have driven past without noticing. Warren worked as a junior consultant on small projects. Doors that had once opened automatically were now permanently closed. Catherine worked retail, cosmetics counter. Her manager was a black woman named Diane. Catherine called her ma'am. The NACP class action settled for $12 million. Cedar Ridge implemented mandatory reforms, diversity quotas, bias training, zero-tolerance policies, an anonymous complaint system. 61 members resigned in protest. They called it the destruction of tradition. They joined other clubs. But Cedar Ridge survived, changed, better. 3 months after the verdict, Simone Hayes stood at the podium of a national civil rights conference in Atlanta. 5,000 people. A standing ovation before she reached the microphone. "People ask if I regret how it escalated." Her voice was clear and steady. "Never, because silence enables oppression. Silence protects abusers. Silence tells the next 12-year-old boy that cruelty has no consequences." She looked across the crowd. But here is the truth most people don't want to hold. This story is not unique. Every single day, people of color face judgment based on appearance, assumptions based on skin, dismissal based on stereotypes that exist only in the minds of people who have never had to examine them. The difference in my case was that I had resources to fight back. Most people don't. Most people swallow the insult. Most people walk away carrying the wound forever. She gripped the sides of the podium. Her voice intensified. So I am asking, when you see it happen, speak. When you witness it, document it. When you have power, use it to protect those who don't. The room was completely still. Because the Hartleys are not the exception, they are the symptom. And until we all commit to calling out injustice when we see it, not when it costs us, nothing. But when it costs us something, nothing changes. She looked directly into the cameras. I built a $2.4 billion company. I stood in front of a room that told me I was nothing. I walked out, and then I came back with the truth. She smiled, wide, warm, genuine. Truth, she said, always finds a way back in. If you believe every person deserves to be treated with dignity regardless of what they're wearing or where they come from, share this video right now for someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel and drop a comment below. Have you ever witnessed someone being judged before they were seen? What did you do? Your story matters here.